In the pantheon of 1990s action cinema, a decade defined by its glorious, unapologetic excess, there exists a holy trinity of Nicolas Cage vehicles, 3 films that cemented his status not merely as an actor, but as a force of nature. These were The Rock, Face Off, and the high-altitude magnum opus of mayhem, Con Air. To speak of Con Air is to speak of a cinematic artifact perfectly preserved in the amber of its era. It is a film so brazenly committed to its own absurdity, so earnest in its testosterone-fueled melodrama, that it transcends conventional critique and ascends into a realm of pure, unadulterated entertainment. This is not a film you simply watch, it is a film you experience, a sensory assault of explosions, questionable hair, and dialogue so memorable it has been etched into the pop culture consciousness. The premise, born from the high-concept crucible of producer Jerry Bruckheimer's imagination, is as simple as it is brilliant. Cameron Poe, a decorated Army Ranger, is a man of honor and principle. In a tragic turn of events, he accidentally kills a man while defending his pregnant wife, Tricia. The justice system, in its infinite and often ironic wisdom, sentences him to a substantial prison term. For 8 years, Poe is a model prisoner. He learns trades, studies law, and corresponds with the daughter he has never met, his entire existence focused on the singular goal of returning to his family. His day of release finally arrives. He is a free man, ready to board a plane home. The only complication? His ride is the Jailbird AC-123K transport aircraft designed for the U.S. Marshals Service to move the worst of the worst federal prisoners to a new Supermax facility. This is where the genius of the setup clicks into place. Poe, the virtuous hero, the man who has paid his debt and wants nothing more than to give a stuffed bunny to his little girl, is trapped in a pressurized metal tube at 30,000 feet with a veritable who's who of cinematic psychopaths. The film assembles a rogues gallery so delightfully over the top it feels like a supervillain convention. Leading the charge is Cyrus, the Virus, Grissom, portrayed with serpentine, intellectual menace by the peerless John Malkovich. Cyrus is not a mere thug. He is a malevolent mastermind, a man who boasts of killing more people than cancer and who sees the hijacking not just as an escape, but as a grand, theatrical performance. He is flanked by a cadre of memorable monsters, the hulking Black Power militant Nathan, Diamond Dog, Jones, the disturbingly prolific serial killer Garland Green, and the brutish rapist Johnny 23 inches Baca, so named for his number of victims. The ensuing takeover of the plane is a masterclass in controlled chaos, directed with explosive flair by Simon West in his feature debut. It is swift, brutal, and efficient. The thin veneer of order is shattered, and the Jailbird becomes a flying kingdom ruled by its most depraved subjects. Yet, amidst this airborne anarchy, Poe stands as the lone pillar of decency. He is forced into a classic wrong man in the wrong place scenario, a hero defined not by his desire for conflict, but by his desperate need to avoid it. His every action is dictated by 2 simple, powerful motivations: protect the few good people on board, his diabetic cellmate Mike, Baby O, Odell, and the female guard Sally Bishop, and get home to his family. On the ground, a parallel narrative unfolds, providing the necessary exposition and the ticking clock. John Cusack plays U.S. Marshal Vince Larkin, a sharp, sandal-wearing federal agent who is smarter and more capable than his superiors give him credit for. He's the first to realize that something is terribly wrong aboard the Jailbird. Larkin becomes Poe's only ally on the outside, a voice of reason in a cacophony of bureaucratic incompetence and aggressive posturing from his DIA counterpart, Duncan Malloy, who sees the plane not as a vessel full of human beings, but as a target to be blown out of the sky. The dynamic between Poe and Larkin, 2 men who never meet face to face until the very end, connected only by crackling radio waves and a shared sense of duty, forms the film's surprising emotional core. But let's be honest, one does not come to Con Air for nuanced emotional drama. One comes for the spectacle, and on that front, the film delivers a payload of pure, high-grade pandemonium. The action set pieces are legendary. There is the tense stop at Carson City, where the convicts masquerade as their own captors to pick up more prisoners, a sequence that ends with a man's body being unceremoniously dropped from the sky and obliterated on the hood of a car. There is the desperate landing at Lerner Airfield, a desolate boneyard in the middle of the desert, which devolves into a full-scale firefight between the convicts and Larkin's assembled forces. This sequence is a symphony of destruction, featuring ambushes, betrayals, and Larkin using a bulldozer as a makeshift battering ram. And then, there is the climax. The legendary, utterly insane emergency landing on the Las Vegas Strip. It is a sequence that spits in the face of physics and aviation law. The massive jailbird careens down the iconic boulevard, shearing the neon guitar off the Hard Rock Hotel, plowing through casinos and cars, and finally crashing to a halt in a shower of sparks and shattered glass. It is one of the most audacious, destructive, and unforgettable action scenes of the decade, a perfect embodiment of the film's "go big or go home" philosophy. The chaos doesn't even stop there, culminating in a chase involving fire trucks and police motorcycles, and Cyrus the Virus meeting a deliciously karmic and graphically satisfying end. Through it all stands Cameron Poe, his flowing locks and southern drawl becoming iconic symbols of 90s action heroism. Cage's performance is a masterwork of earnest intensity. He fully commits to the character's inherent contradictions, the deadly soldier who writes poetry, the convicted killer with an unbreakable moral code. He is a man who can dispatch a villain with brutal efficiency and then deliver a line like, "Put the bunny back in the box," with the gravity of a Shakespearean monologue. It's a performance that walks a tightrope between the sublime and the ridiculous, and it is absolutely perfect for the tone of the film. Con Air is a product of its time, a relic from an era before action movies became bogged down by gritty realism or sprawling cinematic universes. It is a loud, dumb, beautiful thing. The script, penned by Scott Rosenberg, is filled with quotable one-liners and operatic declarations. The score is a thunderous mix of orchestral bombast and power ballads, including the Oscar-nominated "How Do I Live?" It is a film that wears its heart on its sleeve, a surprisingly sentimental story about a man's love for his family, wrapped in the explosive shell of a high-concept thriller. It is a celebration of practical effects, of massive fireballs and real planes crashing into real things. It is, in short, a masterpiece of the Bruckheimer school of filmmaking, and a glorious testament to the untamed, magnificent energy of Nicolas Cage at the height of his action hero powers.